It's a new biggie. Yes, it is. When it comes to the IC Championship, this morning we are all saying the words, and new, as Big E saves Christmas. Oh, we're gonna talk about it. What's up, everyone? It's BC Amplified coming at you with an impromptu review cast. Did not think I'd be able to upload on this platform till next year due to travel and prior commitments, but luckily was able to obtain roughly a half hour to talk about this holiday edition of WWE Smackdown on Christmas night. And before we talk about it, let me just say I do believe all features should be up and going down below. Now, the last couple of vids, I was doing some algorithm testing and it affected the comment section, merchandise tab, live stream, possibly other areas of the channel as well, but I do believe I am through with channel testing for at least the rest of the year. So this video and any other impromptu vids for the year should have all channel features rocking down below. So with that said, and without any further ado, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a kick-ass New Year to y'all. Now let's talk about SmackDown 12/25/2020. Big E saves Christmas. We start this Christmas night edition of SmackDown off with a Steel Cage Universal title match. Champion Roman Reigns taking on challenger Kevin Owens. The official match time was roughly a half hour, and they let these boys battle. When all was said and done, Jey Uso handcuffed Owens to the cage, and Roman exited that cage as if he was on a stroll in Central Park. As Asuka would say, easy peasy. Roman wins and retains his championship, but they did this in a way that didn't derail the momentum that Kevin has stacked up over recent weeks with this feud. So bottom line, for a holiday edition show, not a bad title match at all. I tried to tap into my younger amplified self. If I had the family bickering and arguing behind me and I was wrapped around a television set and Christmas tree, I would just want to be entertained. And this match did the trick. This is how a steel cage match should be. So, keeping in that Christmas spirit and Christmas mindset, this was a damn good way to start this show off. Storylines for one night can take a back seat. Just entertain us, man. And as far as Kevin Owens goes, it's good to see him not completely lose his momentum. This is a dude that is constantly yin-yang booked by McMahon. McMahon will give him 2 steps and take him back 10 steps. McMahon will give him 2 inches and take him back a football field. That only works for so long. Eventually, wrestling fans will throw you to the wayside. This guy has been pushed and then taken back so many times. Braun Strowman comes to mind with that type of booking, and so many others. But I mentioned Braun because there were several times where you thought, all right, they're going to make him something big in this company because he's getting this type of big push, and then all of a sudden he just gets derailed, and he basically gets put into obscurity, irrelevancy. Kevin Owens has been that guy for the past couple of years now. One minute he's in a WrestleMania match with Shane McMahon. The next minute he's not even on TV. One minute he's in a storyline and feud with Vince McMahon. The next minute he's chasing around a 24/7 championship. Now it hasn't gotten that bad yet, but don't be surprised. I mean, this guy has been yin-yang booked. And you don't know whether to look at him like a top superstar or somebody who is a stone's throw away from chasing R-Truth around for a Target championship. So, it's good to see him keep some momentum. This was a loss that didn't completely derail the equity that he has stacked up in this feud. And for Roman Reigns, this guy continues to dominate the sport as far as heel status. And man, the way he won this match with Uso cuffing Owens, and Owens looking at, he was within a foot's reach of Roman Reigns when Roman's foot landed on that mat and the bell was called for. And Owens is just yelling out, "Coward! Coward!" And Roman could have just easily went back in there because Owens at that point had one arm. Roman could have went in there and just put more of a beating on, but Roman was content with watching Owens watch him walk away with that championship. So every little nook and cranny was kind of checked off in the boxes and in all categories in this matchup. A damn solid way to start this show off. Next was a triple threat elimination match for the women's tag titles. Asuka and Charlotte, tag champions, taking on challengers Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. There's a tag team for you. And Bayley and Carmella formed a tag team. Of course, Asuka is introduced first. Remember the old adage, man, the old way of thinking, the old school way, was a champion comes down second. Now, yes, that's usually when it is one-on-one or tag team matches. The challengers come first, the champions come second, because that's respect. So if you're in a tag team, and it's two individuals that formed a tag team, and you have a champion, you should keep in line with that respect. Asuka comes down last. No, not in this case. Forget that fact that Asuka is the women's champion. Next to Vince's golden child, Asuka will forever play second fiddle. You know that. So Asuka comes down first, your champion, and then here comes the golden child. Here comes Charlotte Flair. Fireworks and all, pyro and all. The spotlight is on Charlotte. Asuka is an afterthought, and she's your champion. Very frustrating to watch these little things occur. All of these little details to many are not so minor to the amplified man. In fact, the finish of this match was Charlotte Flair pinning Bianca Belair via natural selection to retain the titles for her and Asuka. So Asuka, second matchup in a row now. Asuka isn't even a factor in the pinfall. It's Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair just beat Shayna Baszler Sunday at TLC. Asuka was a non-factor. Charlotte picked up that spotlight. Charlotte is, right, because all of these little details are leading to one thing, especially for the casual fan. That's telling that casual fan that Charlotte Flair is the glue that keeps it together. Charlotte Flair is the spotlight. Charlotte Flair is the bigger superstar. Sure, Asuka has the individual championship, but let's forget about that. That's only because we don't want people to say Charlotte is forced on us. That's the only reason Charlotte doesn't already have a title. If this was up to Vince McMahon, Charlotte would have won this title somehow, some way, when she returned at TLC. But this is all part of a master plan that isn't so masterful by the old man. And this plan is, let's have her tag up with Asuka to get a rub. Because Vince knows, everybody in that company knows, Asuka is respected. So let's put Charlotte with Asuka, try to get some face rub so that people will finally take a liking to Charlotte Flair. And it's just not going to work. You could do anything underneath the sun. Charlotte will not be taking a liking to by the majority of your audience, Vince, because there's just a lack of connection. We don't mind Ashley, the girl that plays Charlotte Flair. We don't mind Charlotte Flair as a wrestler because she's damn good. But when you force her like you did for so long, and when there just isn't a connection because you have turned her face, then heel, then face, then heel, face, heel 10 different times. When you do that, Vince, the connection is dropped and lost. And it's going to be damn hard to get that back. Trying to show her up at TLC with Asuka to get a rub and then you have her defeat Shayna Baszler. Asuka's not even a factor. Then just a few nights later, you have Charlotte pin Bianca Belair, and yet again Asuka is not a factor. People that know what they're watching, what they're viewing, know what's going on, you're not going to win us over. Charlotte Flair has been back in WWE for less than 1 week, and she's already running through the roster. Top names that need momentum right now. Charlotte doesn't need momentum. Top names in this company need to start racking up victories for the casual fan to say, hey, we should give a damn about them. Baszler, done. TLC this past Sunday, Shayna Baszler pinned by Charlotte Flair, done. When Shayna needs victories the most, she's getting pinned by Charlotte Flair. Baszler, done. Belair, done. Just nights after Baszler loses to Charlotte Flair, nights later, Bianca Belair is dropping a match to Charlotte Flair via natural selection. Bianca Belair, just like Baszler, needs victories. People need to know why we should give a shit about Bianca Belair. And who knows what's in store Monday night? Maybe they bring back Medusa, Alundra Blaze, just to eat an L to the quote-unquote Charlotte is good. That's it. That's where it ends. Why this company continues to move mountains for this individual is befuddling. They're willing to derail careers for this one person. Enough! There's no connection with the crowd. That's just a fact. It's not shade, it's a fact. And it saddens and it frustrates most wrestling fans when we see people like Shayna Baszler, people like Bianca Belair, drop like flies like nothing to Charlotte Flair upon her return. In just less than 1 week, top names are being defeated by Charlotte Flair. And why? Asuka, top names like Asuka has to take a back seat, and she's the champion. And for babysit Lana, one of Vince's Blonde Brigade members. Lana is getting a top storyline with Nia Jax of all people. And Asuka has to play the big older sister of Lana. That's her storyline as champion for 2 months. And when she finally wipes her hands with that, and Vince gets old of Lana, looks at Lana as stale, then he brings in his Queen Blonde Brigade member, Charlotte. And now Asuka has to play second fiddle to Charlotte. And when that's done, maybe he'll play second fiddle to Dana Brooke. It's frustrating when you see top names like Asuka, Shayna Baszler, Bianca Belair all have to take a back seat to the supposed queen. But why? What makes her so special? I'll tell you what it is. Because yeah, she's a damn good wrestler. There's a lot of them on the roster. Sasha Banks, Bayley, I can go on. Bianca, Shayna, Asuka. But why is Charlotte on this pedestal? It's because of her damn last name, and it's pathetic. Enough. She's not her father. Her father connected. Her father checked off all the boxes. I'm sick of people being protected in this company that should not be. Nia Jax got protected at TLC this past Sunday, so Shayna Baszler had to eat the L. Why was that not Nia? Shayna should be running the gauntlet now. Shayna should be getting her moment, her time. She's been there long enough. Over a damn year on that main roster. Give her some time now. No, she eats the L to Charlotte. Nia Jax gets protected. Asuka has to play second fiddle while Charlotte plays superstar. Bianca has to take a pin so Charlotte can look like the golden child. I'm done with that shit. Anyway, Asuka and Charlotte win this match, keep the championships. Am I supposed to be excited? Damn no. I am counting down the days till Asuka can separate from Charlotte Flair. This is doing nothing for Asuka. But BC, she's got an extra championship, man. Asuka doesn't need extra weight holding her down. She is the individual women's champion. She should be the standard. She's the top of the game. And she's playing second fiddle. And if you think that's BS, go back and watch Charlotte's booking since she returned at TLC. This, my friends, is the Charlotte show. Nothing else. Everybody else pales in comparison. This is the Golden Child show, the Charlotte show. Everybody else is just on it. She's the superstar, and that's the way Vince wants it. Our number 2 kicks off with Jey Uso versus Daniel Bryan. This was a rubber match for these two. Jey Uso defeated D-Bry via pinfall on the October 30th Smackdown, and D-Bry evened the score, pinning Jey Uso 1 month later on the November 20th Smackdown. So, some bragging rights were on the line for sure. Jey Uso even tried to get the advantage on D-Bry, attacking him in the aisleway during D-Bry's entrance. But to no avail. This was a decent match, and Uso brought a good fight, but it was D-Bry that scored the pinfall with a running knee when this was all said and done. If this was on a regular night and a show that should be progressing stories and getting us interested in what's to come, this would be wasting time. But because they clearly are trying to just give us some good matches on a holiday show, I didn't mind this. Most people at this point are stuffed from Christmas dinner and trying to hide from their family anyway. I highly doubt the majority of us could even focus on storylines. Put on some good matchups, and let's hope the performers deliver. Well, in this matchup, that's exactly what happened, so I'm on board with this. The main event was the Intercontinental Championship Lumberjack match. Champion Sami Zayn versus Big E. Now, I'm not a fan that this turned into a lumberjack match because I feel that is just a distraction. If Big E's going to win this championship, let it be one-on-one and the focus be on Big E. Once I knew that it was a lumberjack match, I knew what Vince was going for. He was going for that WrestleMania 10 type moment. You guys remember when Bret Hart defeated Yokozuna and became champion, and everybody came out and hoisted Bret Hart up on their shoulders? You know, it was a big deal, and everybody came out to congratulate, and it was a big moment. And in one hand, it is a big moment for Big E, but I wanted it to be Big E's moment. By having everybody out there, it becomes kind of a little bit of a circus. But it is Christmas. I knew what McMahon was going to do once I heard it was a lumberjack match, so I just said, whatever, man. At least Big E is getting that moment. This match clearly was going to be and should have been put at the TLC pay-per-view last Sunday, but clearly the old man decided to highlight it on his holiday show. Let's cut to the chase. And new! Big E defeats Sami Zayn via pinfall to win the IC title, and he did it with his actual finisher, something you don't see much of anymore these days. Usually everybody wins via the fruit roll-up. I don't even know what half the roster's finishers even are anymore. That's a legit statement, guys. That's not just a cute little entertainment statement. If I was thinking about half the roster at least, I cannot tell you what their finisher is anymore. Because either I haven't seen it performed in the longest time, or they're just winning via fruit roll-up all the time. But this was a big ending that put away Sami Zayn, the actual finisher of Big E. So just seeing that, man, that is how people should be winning matches. That especially is how you should be winning a championship. No fruit roll-ups, no gimmicky, stupid BS ways. A definitive victory by a definitive finisher. So it was cool to see this. I know, again, to many people, these are minor details. Not to the Ant-Man. The big ending to finish this was a nice touch and a cherry on top. and a really cool moment for Big E that I have been personally calling for over a year now. If you follow this channel, you know I am a big advocate to separate the New Day and let Big E get a singles run, because I feel this dude has a lot of potential, and it just hasn't been given to him. He's just been a third wheel on the New Day. And there's more to him. And it's cool to see this process start. When you advocate for something for so long, like for years, I have been advocating, to say the least, that Roman Reigns needs to turn heel because we see true potential in him. And that potential will not be tapped until he turns. He finally turned, and we're just now starting to scratch the surface on what Roman Reigns can do in this business. It's so cool to see, but it's such vindication when you know that you've been calling for it for so long. And what people called was bitching, moaning, and complaining actually had purpose. And our voices finally had Joe go to Vince and say, listen, you gotta turn me. And now we're getting the best Roman we've ever gotten. That's from people like the Ant-Man voicing out when other people told us just to shut up. It's not going to change anything. No one's listening. He's never going to turn heel. Vince is happy with 50-50. It's making him money. It's a reaction. And we made Roman better because we didn't shut up. We kept stepping up. We kept voicing out. And it's the same thing with Big E when they said they're never going to split up the New Day. They make Vince too much money. Big E's never going to make it on his own, and we didn't shut up. We didn't sit down. We stood up. We voiced up even louder. And now Big E is over here winning championships on his own, and as not just a wrestling fan, but as a reviewer, as somebody with a platform, with a pretty decent sized audience, I take it as a great responsibility to step up for what is right. And that's why I'm so much advocating for Charlotte Flair just to take a back seat for once in her career to other individuals. Because I know other individuals like Bianca, like Shayna, like Asuka could really use the spotlight. But, that's going to be something that in time Vince will have to get through his dome piece. But for Big E to win this championship last night, yeah, it is vindication. But it's no time. It's no moment for somebody like BC to pat himself on the back. No, it's time to get to work now. And Big E now has to take that title and take it to new heights. Vince has to give him some leeway here. Give him some rope and let him rock out. Give him some good booking, and who knows, in the future, we could be talking about Big E holding a world championship because the guy can do such. He's got the talent. I miss the old 5 count with Big E. When Big E first came onto the scene, man, he used to beat people with the old bam bam 5 count, man. Or I'm sorry, King Kong Bundy 5 count. Bam Bam did it for a little bit as well, but it was King Kong Bundy that originated that. And that was the old school 5 count, man. He would beat you by counting 5, not 3. And that just gave Big E an extra level of badassery. So I would like to see that come back into his gimmick. I love when Big E puts the comedy aside and really gets serious, man. Because that's a Big E that we can all fuck with. As I knew was going to happen, everybody, all the lumberjacks got into the ring. They partied and celebrated with Big E. They hoisted him on his shoulders like it was the Rudy movie. And Rudy is being escorted off the field at Notre Dame. Badass movie if you guys haven't seen that, man. So Big E was Rudy for the night. And Sami Zayn, his facial expressions told the story in itself on the outside. Sami Zayn was distraught in tears. And confetti was busting out from all corners. So it was a real party atmosphere as we ended this Christmas edition of SmackDown. So, I thought the boys and gals put together a good show last night. There was obviously things I would change and some things that frustrated me, as always, with this product, with this show, with this company. But to be a Christmas night edition when they could have easily phoned it in. They could have had some review type show, like maybe they'll do next week if there even is a show. Because that's, I believe, on New Year's Eve night. But they could have phoned it in many ways. They actually they put together a solid show with 3 championship matches. 1 title match actually changed hands, man. So the title changed hands. So listen, if you're going to put in a little bit of effort, a little bit of care, then that's, listen, at the base of it, that's what we're asking for, man. We'll get to the creativity and them not being creative at all. We'll get to that secondary. First and foremost, you just gotta care. You gotta put in some effort. You gotta put in some energy. That's the first step. Then we can talk about your creativity. This show, this product, this company has been so bad for so long because before you even start talking about creativity, they don't even care. They don't even put in effort. They don't even put in energy. You know, they look at a Christmas night edition and they actually put something together. I gotta believe, guys, and I know this sounds like I'm throwing more shade at Vince, but he hasn't earned the benefit of the doubt, so I have to. I gotta believe that this was Fox going to Vince and saying, hey, maybe we can put together like a big show, like a lot of title matches. Because Fox knew that they had a football game right before WWE went on the air. And that doesn't always happen every year. Usually it's the NBA that is on Christmas Day. NFL is usually on Thanksgiving. This year, every once in a while, the NFL will have a Christmas football game. And that's a rarity. So Fox knew from 4 to 7, or it ended up being 8 o'clock Eastern time, they were going to have NFL football. That was going to lead right into WWE Smackdown. I bet you Fox went to Vince and said, we want something big right after our NFL game. That, I believe, is why you saw multiple title matches. That's why you saw an actual show last night, and they didn't just phone it in as per usual. I believe it was Fox, guys. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Because it just seems like this is not something Vince would do on his own. That was SmackDown, guys, for 12/25/2020, your Christmas night edition. Congratulations to Big E, man. I truly mean that on behalf of all the AMP unit members and all wrestling fans, man. Even if you don't like the dude, how can you watch that moment last night and not say that was pretty cool and that it's not deserved? Big E absolutely deserves that type of moment and so much more going forward. I'm glad that I had this half an hour-ish, give or take a few minutes, to spend with you guys and talk some pro wrestling, man. And hopefully I can do another impromptu vid like this. I know it's mostly audio only for the rest of the year, but if you guys enjoy that better than nothing at all, then maybe I can do this again before the year is out. Find some time and talk pro wrestling with you guys. I know there's so many things going on now with Impact Wrestling, superstars going over to AEW. You had Monday Night Raw this past Monday and a lot of hoopla with that. People actually think that Bray Wyatt is buried. I got a good chuckle and a good laugh this week, guys. I know I haven't been able to produce any content, but I saw what was going on in the wrestling world, and there's some, I guess they call themselves fans that think Bray Wyatt is buried still. This is a guy who's one of the top characters in all of wrestling. This is a guy who just main evented a WWE pay-per-view, and you have some people going, he's buried because of what happened with Goldberg and Seth Rollins in the past. And you got people like the Ant-Man, who Bray Wyatt is literally like probably my favorite dude right now. But somehow he's buried. Only wrestling fans, guys. Only wrestling fans can say the most zaniest shit and honestly believe that there's truth behind it. It's a funny business. It's a funny fan base. But yes, Bray Wyatt is buried. That's what we're hearing. I guess he must be. I guess when you're one of the hottest characters in pro wrestling, when you're a main eventer, I guess you're buried, man. That's pro wrestling for you these days. Anyway, guys, much love and respect. Hopefully I can hit you with another impromptu during my travels before the year is out, man. It would be really cool to do another live stream with you guys before the year out, like a little year review. Not that we need to review this crappy year in pro wrestling, but just talk about the year. I don't know, man. I got some ideas if I can find the time. Much love and respect, guys. We got to hit the road again. But 2021 is vastly upon us, man. So relax, everyone. You can put this year in the rearview mirror almost. It's almost there, man. And hopefully pro wrestling will rebound in 2021. For now, check you later.